All right. Hello and welcome back to Two Chapters a Day. So today I will be talking about chapters 15 and 16 of The Eye of the World. And a lot happens in these two chapters. A quick little recap. To begin with, it wakes up with Rand freaking out because he's overslept. And let's be real, we've all been there. And he rushes downstairs, and when he does, he happens upon this conversation between, I think it's the innkeeper and the cook. And he learns that there have been a lot of rats found in the inn, and they've all had their backs broken, which is icky and creepy, but even more so because that was part of the vision dream thing that Rand had the previous night. So, yikes. Kind of weird, but also really intriguing. So Matt and Perrin, it's discovered, revealed that they've also had this same strange dream. So Rand meets up with one of them, and the other one stays behind, and they quickly explore a little bit of the city, but also meet up with Tom, who they promptly tell all about this crazy vision dream thing that they've had. And then Tom convinces them to not tell anybody else about this dream vision thing because it might be dangerous and just it's not a good idea to tell people that they're having this kind of vision. And this makes me kind of nervous. So I know that some of you have told me that, Moraine handpicked everyone for a purpose and she knows what she's doing. And I get that. However, I don't know why, but Tom makes me so nervous. I just feel like he's this weird outlier in this group. And the fact that Rand and Matt and Perrin seem to really trust him makes me nervous. And I think it's because I think they trust him maybe because he's kind of the adult in this situation. And obviously there's Lan and Moraine as well, but they're scary. So I guess he's the most approachable adult, and they are still kids, but it makes me nervous. I am waiting for the other shoe to drop with Tom Maryland. So that's that. Anyways, while they're in town, also they run into Master Fane, which, if you will remember, because I did not remember, I had to flip back. This is the peddler from the very beginning who disappeared, and I think they thought he was carried off and eaten by the Trollocs. Well, he wasn't, or he was and he escaped. I can't really remember. But he ended up here in Baerlon, in this town, and he seems a little crazy, like he's probably seen better days. And they get to talking, and Rand, foolishly, I think, reveals that they're there with Moraine. Again, like Rand just runs his mouth, it seems like, and trusts anyone, and it makes me nervous. Anyways, he reveals that they're there with Moraine and Lan, and uh, Master Fane acts really interested in this, and I have a feeling that in the last chapter we were introduced to the White Cloaks, and I have a feeling that Master Fane is going to tell the White Cloaks that this group is in town, and that's going to come to blows. So the final thing that kind of happened in this chapter that seemed of great importance to me was that Rand and the gang are going back to the inn. And when they get there, Nynaeve is there. And she is kind of in full force. We've read about Nynaeve not really being afraid of confrontation and being this like driving force in Eamon's Field, but we've not really seen it until now. Um, and she and Moraine are kind of like going at it at the end. Basically, Nynaeve wants everyone with Moraine to come home and back to the Two Rivers, and Moraine says, absolutely not, because the only reason they're safe is because they're with me. And the two women do not agree about this at all. So it's kind of left, I think, open-ended as to what they're going to do at the end of the chapter. But the most important thing is that Rand and Nynaeve are walking out and they're talking about everything that Moraine and Nynaeve talked about. And Nynaeve says, well, Moraine was asking me all these questions. And one thing she asked was if anyone was born outside of the two rivers, which we know Rand was. So Rand kind of inwardly freaks out. Nynaeve does not reveal that, like, Nynaeve does not reveal that she knows Rand knows. Um, they both kind of play it off as if that there's not an elephant in the room. And Nynaeve's like, of course, I told her that all of you boys were born right there in Eamon's Field and the Two Rivers, and everything's hunky dory. So it's just really interesting to me that Nynaeve, I think, does know that Rand is not originally from Eamon's Field. So I can't wait to see how that plays out. And side note, this chapter had me interested. I think I might be wrong in how old Nynaeve is, because when she was first introduced, I really thought she was about the same age, maybe a little bit older than the main like group of characters, being Egwene, Rand, Mat, Perrin, and them. However, now I'm thinking that I had that really wrong, and she's a lot older. So if you have any insight into that, let me know, please. But yeah, that was chapters 15 and 16. And like I said about the last chapters, these chapters really, like, I feel like the story is starting to pick up and it makes me want to keep reading. So I'm excited that we're finally getting to a place where the story's picking up, because I felt like it was a little slow at first. So yeah, that is chapters 15 and 16. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow with 16 and 17.